How's everyone doing? Let me get a 5.56 or a 5x4 or 2x4 or whatever. If you can hear me, just let me know. Dome Seeker, I sent you a text. Sent your man a text too, wherever he's at right now, out goofing around. Who was that? Michigan Outpost. I'll go over that here in a second. What you asked. 5x5 black flag. Thank you. Thank you all for being here. I'm going to finish this up real quick. Because, yes, I smoke. Yes, I know smoking is bad for you. Yes. And I don't worry about my kids going by example because, as some of you know, my littlest guy once got a butt whooping for pretending to smoke a Cheeto. Yes, pretending. I don't even know. It's the thought that counts, right? There we go. They know it's bad. They want me to quit. And I will quit someday, whether I be above ground or below. One day, we all quit doing what we ain't supposed to be doing. Dynamite, about time you showed up on time. I told old Chewbacca that the next time you was going to be late, he's going to bend you over his knee, raise that little man skirt kilt you wearing, pat you on the backside there. Michael G, good to see you, Chewbacca. Yeah, I know. My little, what is that? Happy kitty, furry kitty, that guy. T.W. Perry, thank you all for being here. First, Michigan Outpost, I believe, asked about my preferred pistol rifle combo, things like that. And it's not the same for everybody. All right. I try to do everything, all my preps, when I was on active duty and here in the civilian world, whatever, I try to base it off of logic, not off of emotion. All right. People, oh, I loved it. Whatever. Loving one specific brand might get you killed. Might not. Anyway, it all depends on the scenario. All right. We plan in the prepping community for multiple scenarios if we can. I guess they're watching me again. Don't worry. We're going to keep it as PG as we can. Okay. So overseas, typical military loadout, a 5.56 caliber Freedom rifle. I don't know how else to word it other than that YouTube doesn't lose their shit. And your standard 9mm. All right. Whether it be a Beretta, Sig Sauer, Glock, whatever. That was because that's what we were issued. Okay. That's what we had. And there was an abundance of ammunition for those platforms. However, if I was going on my own over to a foreign country, the last thing I would take would be a 5.56. If you were doing expendable style where we're flying in, doing some hinky shit and getting out, I would not take 5.56, 9mm. Well, maybe 9mm, but definitely not 5.56 because you want to reload from your available resources. And in most of the world, that's going to be 7.62 by 39. And I know people, my AR guys are like, no, he said AK. Yes, the AK round. It's you go to Africa, you need bullets, most available on the entire continent, 7.62 by 39. 9mm parabellum around the globe, for the most part, around the globe. Here on U.S. soil, I always preferred 5.56 because, again, it's available. And if you have to reload from the battlefield, the most likely scenario of enemy combatants that you as a patriot would face on U.S. soil is somebody wearing a badge or something to that effect. Okay. And they're going to have 5.56 and 9mm, some 40 cal, some 10, depending on different badge wearers in your area or which three-letter agency is coming for you. But 5.56 is what typically they're going to have. And if you need to reload off their bodies, that's what you need to have a platform ready for. Okay. Again, over here, if there was it's good, not bad to have the AK platform because, if a Red Dawn scenario, which we're going to talk about something similar to that here in a moment, happens, and of course your enemy again would probably bring their their 7.62 by 39s with them, just like when we invade countries, we take our 5.56s with us. Okay. As far as pistol, like I said, standard 9mm doesn't really matter. Stay away from. I stay away from Taurus. All right. They did buy a couple of the Beretta factories, and so you can get some Tauruses that resemble Beretta M9s, but the quality isn't the same as the authentic Beretta M9s. I had one, so I'm speaking from experience. I gave a nice, pretty chrome plated with gold accents to my sister. It was a gift, but not the most reliable. As far as rigging, I prefer, when I was deployed, I prefer to chest rig. I always prefer to have my pistol on my chest. Why? Because trying to draw a pistol from your hip while wearing a seat belt or sitting in some vehicle, this getting shit, this doesn't work. This is much more effective. You're shooting on the fly, on the go. All right, you need to exit a vehicle. You're coming out. You got your pistol already there. All right, trying to maneuver a rifle in a vehicle, pain in the ass. All right, they're getting hung up on slings, getting caught on shit, whatever. So use this as my primary till I get out. I'm good. I got my rifle. Put this back in. Bring the rifle up. Now you can get pistol rifles. Pistols with braces. Okay, nice little 10-inch barrel. Yeah, those are godly loud. However, so there's that. That's why I use a leg rig. I used leg rigs on amphibious operations, dynamite, when I was on boats, rib boats, visit board search and seize. When we did that, anti-piracy operations, I had my pistol on my leg rig, and then I'd have my rifle up here slung. But that was basically the only time I used a leg rig, because even a leg rig, if you've ever been inside of a Humvee, all right, not a lot of space, and even a leg rig is trying to tweak to the right to clear that hip to get it out. Still a bit of a pain in the ass, all right. But on amphibious operations, oh yeah, it's a great place to have it. Great place to have it. All right, let's get more into this stuff. Could we be on the brink of World War III? Some people think that we're already in it. And, I'm not going to argue that, because I think you're probably more accurate than not. But what have we seen as of today? Well, the U.S. has deployed a second carrier strike group. All right, a second carrier strike group to the Mediterranean Sea. And this is just basically a show of force. It's to keep all of the other people off of the playing field, okay? It's the big brother on the playground watching the littler brother kick the shit out of another littler kid and saying, anybody steps in, anybody tries to help that little bastard, I'm going to eat him up. That's basically what it is. All right. But that could be problematic for us. And here's why. A carrier battle group has a lot of, people think, an aircraft carrier. There's a lot of auxiliary ships that go along with it. It's a battle group. Okay. It's a group of ships. Yes, the carrier is the main big boy on the block. It's the floating city that launches all the good aircraft and stuff. But there's all kinds of other things, submarines, all kinds of stuff that go along with that, because you got to keep that city safe. All right. The city's a big floating target, a very expensive one. Now they have two. Well, more boats, more ships deployed to the Mediterranean, Eastern Mediterranean, the Persian Gulf, Arabian Gulf, depending on what side of that argument you're on, the Red Sea, whatever. The more of our assets that we have bobbing around in the ocean, the more targets there are to hit. Okay? And there are a lot of countries out there that would love to take down another one of those ships. I mean, the one in Yemen years ago. My God, I can't remember its name. Oh, and I was in the Navy. Somebody put it in there. You know what I'm talking about. You know, they knocked a hole in it, killed a bunch of sailors. That would be that would be cause for U.S. retaliation. We would demand retaliation. All right. Now, right now, in this conflict that you're seeing between Israel and the Palestinian people, and I say the Palestinian people because, as I was saying in the last stream the other day, when you're leveling a city the size of Green Bay, Wisconsin, to get 50 people, that's a bit excessive. And that's what the math boils down to. If you look at the population of Gaza and how they're leveling entire cities for 0.5% of a population, that's the same as leveling Green Bay, Wisconsin for 50 people, maybe 60. All right. Now, when you think of it like that, it's like, what? What about all the other people that live there? But I digress, as John would say. Nothing brings the Islamic community together like a common enemy. Okay. We've seen this. Some of us have experienced this. They will come together. You will see it is a foreign force is the one time you will see Shia and Sunnis and Sufis all coming together, coalescing, shooting side by side instead of at each other. All right. For example, right now you have Iran. You have had for a long time Iran and Saudi Arabia, enemies. Okay. One is a Sunni state, one is a Shia state. All right. They do not like each other. However, in a scenario like this, there is the potential that they start looking at things differently. And they say, you know what? We're not going to get involved. The Saudis could say, we're not going to get involved right now because we don't want to piss off the U.S., who, well, they give us a lot of fighter jets. But, you know, if Iranian bombers traversed our airspace, we might just be looking the other way that night. All right. You could see things like that happen. You know, you could see, I mean, right now, the U.S. Army is at 1.4 million, roughly. All right. The Iranian army is right about 1 million. And as in the government, our government really wants to go into Iran. We've already drawn up battle plans. All right. You hear congressmen and senators this past week saying how we need to hit Iran. We need to hit here, here, and here. They're saying it on the floors of Congress. All right. So they got the battle plans drawn up, and they got people that want to do it. And the most important thing, it will make companies money. Ooh, money. Then there's a probability that it could be somewhere in the near distant future. All right. Weapons, all the weapons manufacturers' stocks are going through the roof right now. They're all going up. All right. Whether it be General Dynamics, Raytheon, you name it, the stocks are up today because war makes money. And when your country, for some reason, is in the middle of a recession/depression, the fastest way to get reelected is to pull it out of that recession depression. And the fastest way in history, historically, the fastest way to do that is to go to war with somebody and drop lots of expensive shit on them and provide jobs for the people to make more of the lots and lots of expensive shit that you're dropping on them. So there's that. All right. Now, as I said, U.S. Army has about 1.4 million. The Iran Army has 1 million. The problem is U.S. Army doctrine. We fight 3-1. We must outnumber our enemies 3-1 before we'll ever go in anywhere. So we'd have to reduce that population of eligible fighters a lot before we actually set ground troops in. That's literally Army protocol 3-1. Right now it's just over 1.2, 1.4 to 1. And then you got to look at all the other players. You have all throughout the Middle East there. You got Syria, Iraq, Saudi Arabia, Jordan, and Egypt. And Egypt, yes, has neutrality, if you will. They're trying to be the Switzerland. They're trying to work. They've been trying to work with Israel for some time. But those other countries really don't like Israel. All right. And as I said, I mean, it's, I don't think it's a matter of they don't like Israel. They just don't like people coming in and displacing other people, which, I mean, like I said, we did it to the Indians, and now the people calling themselves Israel are doing it to the people that were native there. But that's a deeper conversation. All right. A deeper conversation. There's 6 things I could see happening. One, the first thing, more third-party strikes on Israel. What do I mean by third-party strikes? Third-party strikes, Hezbollah. Hezbollah, as you know, earlier this week, launched guided missiles into Israel and hit some shit. All right. Now, a lot of people think of Hamas launching rockets and Hezbollah launching missiles as the same thing. No, there is a big difference between the homemade janky shit that Hamas launches over the wall that the Iron Dome takes out versus Hezbollah's guided missiles. All right. Think Hellfires. All right. Think shit we got. All right. Kid with rockets from the fireworks store versus shit from the Army Depot. A little bit different. Hezbollah has 100,000 soldiers that could go in against Israel as well. Now, Israel has a good sized military. In fact, according to the law, basically every person over the age of 18 is Israeli Defense Force. Because once you turn 18, if you're a citizen of Israel, doesn't matter you're male or female, doesn't matter what gender you identify as, you're going into the damn military and getting trained for the future defense of Israel. And I'm not sure what the cutoff age of when they, but I know they say they have to have like 2 years. But after that, they're still trained military personnel. So they have their society is basically mostly military fighting age people. But you got Syria's got 200,000 just north. All right. Iraq has another 300,000. Saudi Arabia has 250,000. But Saudi Arabia, even though they have smaller number of military personnel, they have a smaller population. For one, most of their country is vast desert, but they are very well armed by the U.S. We give them tanks and missiles and fighter jets and attack helicopters and things like that. And so they really wouldn't want to jeopardize that. But if Israel decided to do something silly like destroy the mosque in Jerusalem, best believe that would be a trigger event. All right. If you see anything happen to the Dome of the Rock, if you see something on the news that, that mosque got damaged, destroyed, trust me, Israel's going to take the blame, according to the Islamic community. And it would surprise me if all hell didn't break loose, because you would have Saudi saying, that's it. And they wouldn't give a damn about the pacts they